We have arrived. It is Wednesday, August 28th, and it's 92 degrees outside. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice, warm, hot day. I'm not going running. I don't think I'm going running. It's a little late. By the time I'm done with this, I'm gonna be hungry. I'm gonna have other stuff I need to do, blah, 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 whatever. But, we're gonna get into the videos first today because y'all know that my laptop has been running hot, running slow, whatever's been going on with it. We're gonna have to get into the videos pretty immediately today to possibly avoid that as over the weekend or sometime over the next couple of days, I'm gonna get whatever's going on with the laptop together. Triple I, what's going on? Yes, indeed. We got Luke Cyborg Dragon. What's going on? How are y'all doing today? Trent, what's going on? We got Trent from Yuma, Arizona in the building. What's the temp there? It's been 100, it's been 98, 99, 100 degrees here in St. Louis pretty much every day this week. Today it's 92 degrees, so just a bit cooler, but still quite warm. But yeah, nah, we're like I said, we're gonna get straight into the videos because my laptop's been having some issues, and we'd like to avoid that. Over 100 today. Oh, and with a little rain, maybe that'll cool it off. Maybe that'll make things better. But yes, we got Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will be doing an interview tomorrow on CNN with Dana Bash. I think it's a very, very, very good idea for them to do it together. Because the two of them together are a very strong duo, and I think it's effective to continue to relate the two of them. Obviously throughout Kamala's career, going forward, she'll do, I mean, she's done interviews, she'll do more interviews, but it's been really funny to see people who, listen, at the end of the day, when people don't want you to win, you can't satisfy them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when Barack Obama was in office, he was the devil because he wore a tan suit, because he put mustard on his cheeseburger. Like, it doesn't matter what you do when people don't want you to win. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now that Kamala's doing an interview tomorrow, all her, whether it's people on the right or the left who don't want her to win, they're like, oh, well, why is she doing an interview with Tim Wall? She can't do it. Like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. So, whether you're in politics or you're an entrepreneur or you're just going about your life, keep in mind when people don't want you to win, you can't satisfy them. um I'm pretty confident that the interview tomorrow for both of them is going to be a massive success, and again, that'll just piss everybody off who doesn't want to see her win. I personally don't understand why anybody thinks like, oh, she can't do an interview like that. That is the biggest cope ever. Like, you think that this grown ass, highly successful, intelligent woman can't do an interview by herself? Like, oh, if she does an interview, she's not going to be able to answer any questions, and then everything's going to collapse. Like, good luck with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not going to happen. Like, I don't care how much you love or hate Kamala Harris. It's not, her doing an interview is not going to tank her campaign. That's fucking ridiculous. But yes, tomorrow, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will be doing an interview together with Dana Bash on CNN. I think like at 8 o'clock or something like that, 8 o'clock Eastern time, Central time, something like that. But yes, we're gonna get straight into the videos because, like, as y'all have seen over the last several streams, there have been some issues. So we are to get into first. Where's the sound? Oh God. Okay, hold up. Hold up now. Hold up. I can't hear nothing. It's looking like I'm gonna have to go. Let me go to my settings real quick. I updated the microphone. So maybe that, yes, here we go. Boom. Now I should be able to hear it. And yes, now everything should be better. Maybe the mic is a bit louder now. Um okay, there we go. I had to adjust the speakers, but now we are going to get into this massive voter surge on the Democratic side. Let's get into it. Um, you said Yuma's the world's sunniest city, not hottest, but the sunniest, with over 90% of the country's leafy green through the winter. Oh, nice. Well, I hope you're enjoying that sun. It's 108 degrees, but I guess the dry heat is making it a bit more sufferable. You can get through it. But yes, let's go over this now. Democratic voter surge is exploding.
Welcome back to America Decides. We're tracking something really interesting going on right now. It's a surge in voter registration in key groups ahead of the November election. Among young black women, registration is up more than 175%. You heard that
Bruh. 175% among young black women.
right. More than
Young
175%.
Latinas, 149%. This word, the subtitles are blocking this
In
here.
13 states. That's
Black women, 98%. We got young women, I guess that's non-black. I don't know. I don't know what the distinction is here. 83%. Black Americans, 85.8. Black women, 98.4. Young Latinas, 149. Young black women, 175.8%. This is obviously proof in the pudding about what's going on the ground. Again, Kamala Harris has 400,000 plus volunteers around the country knocking on doors, making phone calls. This is why this is happening. It's not just because, people are like, oh, a woman's running. Oh boy, that's not enough. Kamala is running a very uh a very objectively successful campaign. I need to get me a PO box. Thank you for reminding me of that. I need to open one.
compared to the same time in 2020. This, according to the data firm TargetSmart. Registration has also increased among young Latinas and Black Americans. Tom Bonnier joins us now. He's a senior advisor at TargetSmart.
Ziviz, thank you so much. I do my best and I try to stay authentic. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for the support.
Tom, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming in. 175%, can that possibly be right? You must have triple checked this or many more times than that.
You're right to repeat the number because I've more than triple checked it. It's incredibly unusual to see changes in voter registration that are anywhere close to this. I mean, to remind people, 175% is almost tripling of registration rates among this specific group. You just don't see that sort of thing happen in elections normally.
And what does that tell us, if anything, about either enthusiasm, attention, propensity to vote for these newly registered participants?
Tells us a lot. The reason that we look at this voter registration data is because the polls will only tell us so much. The polls tell us how people are going to vote. They don't tell us if or who is going to vote. It's a big question. The best indicator of that.
Trent, thank you so much for the five gifted memberships. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for all of the support all around from everybody. However you can give it, I truly need it and appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Actions that people are taking. Number one, registering to vote. Someone who says, I want to participate in this election. And so as we've seen these questions of which side has the advantage in intensity and enthusiasm, we look for changes in voter registration like this. People who are newly registered to vote are much more likely to vote on election day. So it not only means that there's a bigger pool of voters for either campaign to draw from and turn out on election day, but generally it's an indicator of a broader enthusiasm among that specific group. So people who are already registered to vote, who look like those voters who are registering to vote, tend to vote at higher rates when you see those surges in registration.
What do we know?
Boom. We're gonna keep on going through because again, there have been some type of speed issues. I got to do some stuff on my laptop over the next couple of days. So we're gonna keep on zooming through. But yes, 175% voter increase among black women and down the line, and these are in key states as well. So again, when you have hundreds of thousands of people knocking on doors, making phone calls, when you have dozens of offices in each state. And again, this is no matter who you are, Republican, Democrat, this is how you run a campaign. You have to actually touch the people. You have to actually shake their hands, speak to them face to face. And that is what's going on. So now let's get into a little bit of this Dr. Phil interview. I don't know if you've seen any of it. But yeah, again, Dr. Phil not Dr. Phil. Donald Trump just continues to make a complete ass of himself no matter what he says, no matter where he goes. He can't help it. Like he's completely spiraling out of control. Like I don't care how much you like Donald Trump. Like you see with your own eyes that his campaign is just completely collapsing. And you know, it's not fake. It's not a ruse. It's not a joke. It's happening. It's real. And you know, so let's get into this a little bit. Donald Trump and Dr. Phil's goofy ass interview.
So why were you spared? You've had to reflect on this alone in the middle of the night in a golf cart riding down the way thinking about it. How do you answer that? Why were you spared?
So there had to be some great power, because you just can't say millions to one, millions to one. I used to say 1,000,000 to one. It's much more than that, because again, you have to pull down the sign. There has to be a reason to go right, and I never go right. There's no reason. And not only go right, it's for about 1/8 of a second. It's not just right. It's out of all the time that we're on this planet, it's 1/8 of a second, right? So I shouldn't be with you. So
Is there a purpose?
well-
Was there a reason you think you were spared?
I mean, the only thing I can think is that God loves our country and he thinks we're going to bring our country back. He wants to bring it back. It's so bad right now what's happening. When you look at the crime, the horrible things that are happening inside our country.
Of course, God is always on the side of Republicans, and God also specifically wants America to win. You know, fuck everybody else. That's God's plan, which obviously is ridiculous.
And it can be solved. It can be.
Whenever anything happens outside of the Republican Party, oh, that's not God. You know, how powerful is your God then? If this is your God, he doesn't seem to have much control over things.
Solved fairly quickly. It has to be God. I mean,
Has to be
how
the
can
hand
you
of
say
God.
it's luck when it?
Again, it's fine for him to say that that God kept him safe. That's fine, but you know, whenever you go into Republican, whoever, like, oh, God wants this party to win, like, no, that's come on.
It's 20 million to one. Okay, I mean, it's just not possible that I was in that position. It's the only position where that bullet could have missed.
And you believe in God.
I do.
You believe God's hand was in this that day?
I believe so. Yeah, I do.
And you talk about the country. You believe you have more to do. You weren't done. You were spared for a reason.
Well, God believes that, I guess. We'll have to see. Number one, I'm in an election with a very vicious group of people. I won the election against Biden. I was up.
I won the election against, or was he? Is he? What are you talking about? You didn't win in 2020. I guess he's talking about now. I don't know.
By 17 or 18 points after the debate.
17. He said he was up by 17 or 18 points. No, you weren't up that much. You were up. You were beating him, but 17 or 18 points.
And they said, you know what? He's going to lose. They went and told him he's going to lose. And
then they went and put in a black woman, and now I'm getting my ass kicked by her, and I can't accept it. I can't stop whining and complaining about Joe Biden. Where is Joe Biden? It's not fair. They did a coup.
Like, no. Again, I can't hate on you for saying that God was looking out for you, because you know the bullet was very close to him. Like, he is very lucky to be here. Can't hate on that, but it's always it's always hilarious when Republicans pretend like they're the chosen party of God. Like, okay, so I guess God just doesn't really care about other people. Now let's get into how Trump said that if the elections were fair, he would have won California, which Republican presidents don't win California. Like, that doesn't happen, especially. What are you talking about, man? California is a blue state. When it comes to the Electoral College, it always goes to Democrats. But of course, he says if it was fair, then he would win. Something, something, something. If Jesus was the election counter, like, okay, Trump. So yes, now let's see what else he got to say.
I look at California. I gave a speech. I had a crowd so big. I said, "There's no way I could lose California," but automatically they mark it down if you're a Republican.
But automatically, there's
when I go to California, there's tens and millions of people in California, tens of millions of people. And so when I go to one rally and there's 20,000 people, that speaks for everybody. There's no way I could lose California. They just automatically tally it up.
like, no, bro, that's not how this works. You just lost. Like, Republicans don't win California, the Electoral College. That doesn't happen. But of course, if it was fair, he would win. It's only fair when Trump wins.
a loss, that you lose by 5 million votes. I said, 5 million votes? I guarantee if Jesus came down and was the vote counter, I would win California.
What is this statement worth? Because that's not going to happen. Jesus isn't going to come down and be a vote counter. So why are you saying this? Like what is the value in you saying that Jesus would be a fair vote counter? No one else would be fair other than Jesus.
There's no way. Well, by 5 million votes, there's no way this could happen.
Like he can't believe that people don't like him. Like he just can't seem to believe that.
Okay? In other words, if we had an honest vote counter, a really honest vote counter, I'd do great with the Hispanics, great. I mean, at a level that no Republican's ever done. But if we had an honest vote counter, I would win California.
You think so?
You think so? Again, obviously, Dr. Phil in his head's got to be like, no, I don't know about all that, man.
If we had an honest vote counter, there's no way I could ever lose anything if it was fair. It's only fair when I win. I mean, again, I don't care how much you like Donald Trump. There's no way you can watch him this type of shit, especially when there's a couple months away from the election, and be like, oh, yep, he's killing it. He's doing this is exactly what people want to hear. Like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I think so. I do. I see it. I go around California. They have Trump signs all over the place. It's a very dishonest.
When I go to California, I see Trump signs in certain places.
But what about where there aren't Trump signs, Donald?
Everything is mail-in. They send out 38 million ballots. I think it is around 36.
We don't want people mailing in their votes because we don't want people participating in the democratic process because that would be cheating. It's only legitimate when people can't vote.
Okay. All right, man. Hold on, let's see. He asked him, I don't know if they're saying they wanted you to get shot, but was it okay with them if you did? And at least he said, I don't know. Cause like, how can you answer that question? But at least he said, I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, at least he didn't say yes. That was kind of a silly question right here. Let's go. We zipping through the videos.
I'm not saying that they wanted you to get shot, but do you think it was okay with them if you did?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of hatred. I don't know.
How are you supposed to Dr. Phil, how are you supposed to answer that question? What kind of a question is that? Do you think it's okay with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden if you ended up getting shot? I'm not saying that they wanted that to happen, but do you think that it was okay if that ended up going down? Okay, like he's what's the name? It's not Mr. Garrison. It's the principal. I can't remember his name from South Park. What the fuck kind of a question is this?
Why? I had a great presidency. We had the best economy we've ever had. We had job numbers that were unbelievable. And then you had bounce back jobs. You know, the jobs after a pandemic, they call it bounce back. All pandemics, whenever you have something like that, an event, you have a bounce back. As it gets better, you bounce back. And they like to try and claim those jobs, but those are our jobs. We had a tremendous president. We rebuilt the military. We knocked out ISIS. I had no wars. So many things we did. Largest tax cuts ever, which is what gave us the great economy, by the way. Largest regulation cuts.
Yeah, I don't understand how anybody can believe when Trump says there were no wars under Donald Trump. Like, huh? What do you mean? America's always at war. I mean, most nations are at war in some capacity, but especially the United States. And that's an issue that both Democrats and Republicans aren't really that happy about, our military industrial complex and how much of our taxpayer dollars go to it. But I just don't understand how anybody can really take that seriously. Like, what the fuck do you mean there were no wars while you were president?
We were choking with regulation. But, you know, when you do things like that, The other side,
Yeah, too much regulation. That's why I put Betsy DeVos in charge of the Department of Education, because who needs public education? Too many regulations. It's just not fair.
that disagrees with that, or for whatever reason doesn't want to do it, there's a lot of hatred is generated.
If they've
I'll
got,
give you an example. They're saying, "I'm a threat to democracy." No, they're a threat. They've weaponized government. They're
They're
a
a
threat.
threat.
But that turned to be like one of their lines, that Trump is a threat. I'm not a threat to democracy at
No,
all.
not at all.
They are a threat to democracy, but they would say that. That was standard line. Just keep saying it. And that can get assassins or potential assassins going. That's a terrible thing. I used to say, and you fight it, but everybody in the day, it was a standard line for them. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. I'm just the opposite. I'm the one that fixed our military. I'm the one that knocked out ISIS. I did so much. I also took a bullet.
I took a
But-
bullet for you.
Maybe that bullet is because of their rhetoric. It's really nasty rhetoric.
Yeah, well, of course, the kid who shot at Donald Trump was a registered Republican, but we'll skip over that fact. We're just going to pretend like that's not a thing. We're going to keep on zooming through the videos because just in case this stuff starts to slow down, I want to make sure that we at least get through all of that. So again, Kamala continues to surge and dominate in poll after poll after poll after poll. It's nothing new. Let's look at North Carolina. Let's see what the CNN polling guru has to say about this. Oh, and we'll get into some of the stuff that Donald Trump was posting on his account as well. It's almost as if he really doesn't want to win this, because again, day after day after day after day, both him and JD Vance do or say something that is just hurting their chances. So let's see what he got to say right here.
36 past the hour, Vice President Harris and Donald Trump are running an extremely tight race in the key battleground state of North Carolina. Democrats haven't been able to win the state in a presidential election since 2008, but Vice President Harris has been making gains, with the Cook Political Report shifting the state from lean Republican to toss-up. NBC's Steve Kornacki joins us now from the big board to help us all understand what this change is. Steve.
Yeah, Jose, it's interesting here because there was a lot of skepticism. I think Democrats have talked all year about making North Carolina a battleground. Now, the other battleground states we always talk about all had voted for Joe Biden in 2020. This is one that went for Donald Trump. So I think that's where some of the skepticism came from, because Trump had improved his polling performance nationally. So the sense was the action would be in those states that had been Democratic in 2020 that Trump was trying to flip. Here's one that Democrats are trying to flip. And as you see, that rating and the polling we've seen suggests this really is that close. So what's going on here? Well, first of all, keep in mind the state did tighten in 2020. Back in 2016, Donald Trump won North Carolina by about 175,000 votes. That margin fell to 75,000, down 100,000 votes in 2020. You see the result here. Now, what goes into it? What are the ingredients in North Carolina that went into this close race and that would go into determining the outcome this fall?
All the polls are fake.
Donald Trump is even losing in like heavily right-wing tilted polls. Like, he is not winning in any of the polls, none of them. And again, the averages, the RCP average really is not that relevant. She's still up in all the averages for 538 and RCP, but that really is not as relevant because she only been running for a month. But poll after poll after poll after poll, she's up by 7, she's up by 8, she's up by 11, she's up by 4. Like, that is what's going on. And again, every day we started off with the surge in Democratic voter registration, 175+% in addition to Democratic voter. Like, Donald Trump is going to fucking lose. He is not going to win this election. Absolutely nothing indicates that he's going to win this. Nothing. And I'm not, I'm saying that as somebody who analyzes this shit on a day-to-day basis, whether it be the polling, whether it be the volunteers, whether it be the amount of offices that are open, how much money she's raised, how much money she's spending, how people are responding to her. Like, on every single voter registration, on every single metric, Donald Trump is getting his ass kicked. and he's acting like he doesn't want to turn it around. Like, oh, I'm gonna win. Like, nah, bro, you ain't. You are not going to win this election. That shit is not happening.
Well, it kind of mirrors what we talk about all the time nationally. One thing we see, Democratic support is getting increasingly concentrated geographically.
Wishful thinking, happy woman. Thank you for asking. In fact, we're going to get into that in a few. Again, like I'm saying, like it's like he doesn't want to win. And he continuously pisses off groups of people who he needs to go vote for him. Thank you for bringing that up. We're going to check that out after these videos. I'm trying to run through the videos first because my laptop has been having problems over the last several streams.
Into metropolitan areas, suburbs with high concentrations of college diplomas. So take a look here. Wake County, this is Raleigh, North Carolina. You see, Biden won this by 27 points in 2020. Take a look at what's been happening in Wake County. And we're going to go all the way back here to 2008. 08 was when Obama actually carried North Carolina by this much. But look at this. In 2008, giant county, Wake County, Obama won it, but it was by about 14 points. And look how that margin has crept up for Democrats. Basically, Biden doubled almost Obama's margin in Wake County. And also note the number of votes cast going up. You have population increasing, and you have Democrats running up now just massive margins. You see it right there in Wake County, and you can look around the state. Mecklenburg County, where Charlotte is, you see it there. Out where Asheville is a little smaller, but you see it there. The triad here, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, you see this happening, sort of blue islands around the state. So that's where Democrats have been making gains, and they think 4 more years of population growth in these areas since 2020, and maybe another step towards the Democrats in terms of the result could get that 75,000 votes. The other thing that's happening, though, is all the red you see outside these blue areas here, a lot of these are smaller counties, rural counties, but it's the other trend we see nationally. They're getting more and more Republican, especially in the Trump era. So I'll give you an example here. Small county, but this could stand in for many in North Carolina. Trump wins this in Western North Carolina by 26 points. Take a look at this when we go back to 2008. Obama was competitive in a place like this. He didn't win it, but he only lost this county by 8 points. Then you go to 2020, and Democrats are losing it by more than 25 points. So in smaller counties, more sort of diffuse geographically there, Republicans have made gains, and it's sort of almost canceled each other out there. And I think if there's sort of an X factor here this fall to keep an eye on in North Carolina, it's going to be in this part of the state. You see a lot of blue there. These are, forget Raleigh there, but over here to the east, these are smaller counties. These are rural counties, and they have large African-American.
At this point, so a lot of states are up for grab that, I don't necessarily think that, Trump's going to lose Texas, but he could, you feel me? Like he could, again, I don't, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but he could lose Florida. Again, in Florida, they got an abortion referendum on for the ballot initiative. It's just this guy, he's in trouble. He really is in trouble. And again, now that she's doing an interview tomorrow, and now that she's doing an interview, everyone, they're mad about it. Oh, well, she can't do an interview by herself. Yes, she can, but she's doing it with Tim Walz because it's a very good idea. Because Kamala and Tim together, people love it. So why wouldn't she do that? She's running a successful strategy. So, again, when people are like, oh, well, why can't she do it like this? She don't have to. What difference does it make? If Donald Trump wasn't so fucking pathetic, it wouldn't make a difference. Now, would it? No, it wouldn't. But of course, Donald Trump's a loser, and everybody who is siding with him just really can't seem to understand that he's going to lose this election. But then again, they do know that. Like, I think, again, like you pointed out, G, it's the general consensus. Pretty much everybody knows what's about to happen. But I just roll my eyes at people who are like, well, Kamala, like, oh, the interviewing again. Who gives a fuck? What difference does it make? And now that she's doing an interview, that oh, well, she shouldn't have done it like that. She should have done it like this. Like, okay, like you got Sarah Huckabee Sanders here talking about exactly for Primus, and I'm glad that you pointed that out. This is this is just a media gripe. The media. Queen Fritza, thank you. I'm sorry I missed you. Thank you for joining. But I'm also glad that you pointed this out for Primus, because this is just a media gripe. The media wants her to be on their platform because it's going to get them a lot of views. It's going to get them a lot of ratings. That's what's going on. Like this is not something that's that voters are caring about. If they did, then she wouldn't be winning the way that she is. Like it just wouldn't happen. But again, she's going to do an interview tomorrow with Tim Walz, and especially because they're together, it's going to be really wholesome. It's going to do well. And then, oh, well, why can't she do one by herself? At some point, she'll do an interview by herself and it'll be just fine. Like because when Trump does interviews by himself, he says things like, California, they just called the election for Democrats. There's no way that I could possibly lose California. If Jesus was a vote counter, then I would win. Like, again, what is the value in saying something like that? Because Jesus is not going to come down from heaven and be a vote counter for Donald Trump. That's not going to happen. So, you know, it's like all these people who are saying, "So, oh, Kamala, she can't do an interview." Again, this has nothing. This is just common sense. This has nothing to do with if you like or dislike Kamala Harris. If you think that, oh, well, when people see her do an interview, she's just going to lose all of her support. No, she's not. That's not happening. Not with a few months left out, and there's only one other person in the race who could win. Like that's not how this is going to go. It is a incredibly, it's just cope. They're just coping. That's all it is. But yeah, again, it's the reason Kamala Harris is doing so well. On the one hand, Donald Trump is running a pathetic campaign, but you really can't blame that. Because Kamala Harris has 400,000 volunteers knocking on doors and making phone calls and talking to people about her policies. That's why she's doing well. And Fritz, when I found out that they was her and Walls are doing it together, I was like, ooh, because it's gonna go well. It's gonna go well, and she can continue to do whatever she wants after this. She'll do it, and then it is what it is. Oh, Harris can't get through an interview without a babysitter. Who really believes that? And again, what difference would it really make if she did it by herself? You think that this woman, who is an attorney general, a senator, and vice president, can't do an interview by herself, even though she's already done lots of interviews throughout her career? Like, what are you talking about? They have nothing. They have no ability to change the direction of this election. They don't. If this is the best you can do, and then again, like I said, tomorrow's interview is going to go swimmingly well for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I practically guarantee that it will. And then when it does, they're going to be like, "Oh, she did it on CNN. She should have done it here." Like, no, she can do whatever she wants. You motherfuckers have to beat her, and you ain't. So you're whining and griping and complaining. That's what's going on. It's not more complicated than that. It really isn't. What is this? She can't do it without a babysitter. Oh, yeah, sure. But again, when Trump doesn't, it would actually be better for Donald Trump if he was doing less interviews. If he wasn't, yeah, no, she's not going to blow the interview. That's ridiculous. It's just that's ridiculous. Like what? No, that's what you would like to see. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would like to see. But yeah, we'll just move forward before I start saying a bunch of shit I don't need to say right now. But it's so stupid. And then you got Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters playing cleanup. Matter of fact, before we get to that, let's play the rest of these videos before I can show you what Trump is posting to his page. His page. He's an idiot. He is an idiot. Donald Trump is a stupid man. And like I said, it's why Republicans like him. Because if it wasn't his personality, if it wasn't his shenanigans, then they would have went with somebody else after he lost to Joe Biden in 2020. But you like the shit, man. You like the stupidity. So now let's get through the rest. Let's get through the rest of this. But yeah, no, I got it. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super. My boy Kyle, he already know what I got on my mind. But I gotta. Yeah, I'm just gonna move forward. Now we got They tried to kill it. Fox's Maria Bartiromo suggests Democrats attempted to assassinate Trump. Like the whole party is collapsing.
Got lawfare now to deal with. Special counsel Jack Smith indicting former President Trump again this week in the dropped January 6th case. This new indictment was revised after the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. Trump is still facing the same 4 federal offenses he was originally charged with in this case, but Smith has reframed the arguments, removing allegations against Justice Department officials. Trump writes this on Truth Social yesterday, that the indictment has all the problems of the old indictment and should be dismissed immediately. Congressman, what about this? What can you do in your role in judiciary?
Good point for Primus. Again, at the end of the day, what difference does it make? Like, these people just want to see her fail. Whether it be Republicans, because obviously Republicans want to win. So I mean, there's really not much else to say there. You can't blame Republicans for wanting to win. But when progressives say stuff, I just roll my eyes, because it's like, okay, what? So you want her to lose so that what? We can keep whining and complaining? Because that's really the perception of the progressive movement. So I don't get it. Like, what do you mean she's gonna blow the interview? Like, huh? No, again, that's what you would like to see.
To stop all of this lawfare going on. Everyone knows what this is about, and everyone knows that this case is not going to be tried anytime soon. So why come out with it 19 days before early voting begins?
Yeah, that is correct. So they continue to hurl everything they can at the wall, whether it was the Fulton County case, New York City case, and this Jack Smith case. And this is their last hurrah in trying to use lawfare to derail President Trump's candidacy leading up into November. And I think that's the key message that we need to deliver to the American people, that they are trying to deny someone their ability to run for president without interference by the party that is in power at this point. We just need
Whining and griping. Again, I don't care who it's from. I hate when people just complain with useless talking points. What difference does any of this make? Well, if only people understood. No, Donald Trump is in trouble because of what he has done. The end. That's it. Like, there's nothing else to see. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. All right, so again, here we go with Scott Jennings. Oh, it's incredibly weak that Kamala Harris is doing an interview with Tim Walz. Why? Why is that weak? Didn't Donald Trump do an interview with JD Vance? And again, when Donald Trump does interviews, what kinds of things does he say?
Well, if Jesus came down from heaven and he was a vote counter, then I would win California.
Okay. All right. All right. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. He said, Jackson, do you think the Democrats are underestimating the pro-Palestinian movements against Kamala Harris? No, I don't. Because look, at the end of the day, if you really care about Palestine, you're gonna vote for Kamala Harris. Like, I don't like there's and also like I was not one of the people who was for like the uncommitted delegates. Like, why didn't y'all just commit your delegates? If you would have committed your delegates to the Democratic Party, they likely would have let you speak. And even if they didn't, you would have had more of an argument. And this is one of the issues with the progressive movement. It's progressives want to make spectacles, but not actually have power. Instead of committing your 30 delegates to the woman who's clearly going to win this election, you would rather camp outside for days. Like, what is that doing? How is that actually helping anything happen? It's not. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't. Because again, if you, and two, also, for people who vote, if you care about Palestinians, you probably also care about Social Security and the cost of groceries and the economy and education and healthcare. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, if you don't vote just because of that, I mean, how serious are you? You're not really that serious of a person. And again, that one of my exactly, take yes for an answer. Like, you have to. You cannot influence. Look, the Democratic Party is very wealthy and very powerful, and you're not going to influence them by. I mean, sure, do that, But again, it's just like I didn't make, a bunch of things. Like I just it's just a bad argument. It's not how things work. It's just not how things work. And I want us to win. I want education to be more affordable. I want healthcare to be more affordable. I want all of these things that pretty much all progressives want, but the world works the way that it does. We have to operate with the world based on how it is, not how we would like it to be. So again, I don't. This is just pretty clear and straightforward. If you want to speak at the DNC, commit your delegates. This isn't complicated. I just, this again. I am a progressive. All y'all know I'm a progressive, but because I care about this movement, I am going to criticize it because we don't do things very intelligently a lot of the time. I'm 32 years old. We ain't won nothing my whole damn life. Nothing. What have progressives won in my 32 years of life? And then when we lose, it's not because of us. It's because of them. You know what I mean? Like, is that 30 plus years of losing? Is that really what's going on? I don't think so. Don't you think it's more valuable to look and take more responsibility for how we do stuff? One good example that I tend to give, right? Barack Obama, he greatly improved the healthcare system, and progressives were there to say that it wasn't good enough. But what have we done? Elizabeth Warren, right? Elizabeth Warren. She's responsible for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that has returned billions of dollars in stolen money to consumers. But when she ran for president, progressives were there to call her a fraud and say that, so again, it's just like I can't look at us do this type of stuff and then pretend like, oh, it's just so unfair. The game's so rigged against us. Nah, no, we just got to play the game better. Obama, he made a lot of mistakes, but what have we done? What have we done? We can't even win elections. We can't even win elections. And then as soon as progressives are in a position to actually have some power, oh, well, now you're a sellout. You're a sellout now. Because no, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, again, this is just righteous frustration. But I would like for us to get more done. And we're not gonna, if we don't take yes for an answer, ain't nothing gonna change, So it's just yeah, yeah. So it's all love. But I just think that the way that a lot of us, not all of us, but the way that a lot of us go about things, it's like, you know, let's have some power. How are we going to change anything if we reject power and reject money? Ain't shit free. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So again, that has been my rant. That has been my rant for the day. I would like for us to do better. But I think that what I'm saying makes sense. It does. It makes sense. I'm not tripping. I'm not sitting up here progressing criticizing our policies. I'm criticizing us because I'm a part of the movement. So but yes, let's continue on. Hold on. Do I have this pulled up? Yes, I do.
Weak sauce. I think people are going to bring that up. Look, I have great confidence in Dana and CNN to do this. I think it's incredibly weak. Weak sauce to show up with your running mate. The fact that they don't have enough confidence in her to let her
He doesn't believe this. They just need something to say because he's a Republican.
sit herself.
Because she can't win. It doesn't matter what she does. If she does it, if she does it with Tim Walz, oh, she shouldn't have done it with him. If she does it by herself, oh, like it doesn't matter. Again, when people don't want you to win, you cannot satisfy them because they want you to lose. But this is ridiculous.
Actual top of the ticket and do a single interview. In fact, I think the hand wringing and the gyrations over this over the last month show a troubling lack of confidence in her.
No. Again, this is, why did I choose politics as a career? These people make me so mad because they're so stupid.
Political ability, which also makes you wonder as a voter, well, what kind of president would you be if this kind of a small time decision, can we do an interview or not? What does that look like for your decision-making process, so on? So yes, I think Republicans are going to think it's pretty weak to show up with effectively someone to take up half the time.
He doesn't think that. He just needs something to say. You know what I'm saying? He just needs something to say. There's plenty of legitimate criticisms to give, but That isn't one of them. It's just not, because they know it's going to go well. They just want her to lose. And again, you can't blame them. They on the other team, man. Can't really blame them for that. But yeah, she's gonna blow the interview. No, she's not. Shut up. And then when she doesn't, let me just move on. Let me just move on. Because I'm passionate about this, if y'all couldn't tell. I'm trying to see if there's any more videos that we need to go through before we get into, Trump. He can't stop getting indicted. He just can't stop. Jesse Waters he tried to make a bit of an apology for what he said. I won't be surprised if they end up letting go of Jesse after a while. Let's see. We got. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they got rid of Tucker Carlson because he cost them almost $1 billion. But if it's just negative comments, then that's probably not you know what I'm saying.
Maybe listen to this. There's been some attention to comments I made on the show yesterday about VP Harris. People are misconstruing my comments to mean something inappropriate. I wasn't suggesting anything of a sexual nature. I was expressing my opinion that Vice President Harris's current leadership style could be an issue.
He's not sorry. Of course, he's not sorry at all. Obviously, people were lighting up Scott Jennings for saying it's weak sauce that they're doing it together. And they're saying, well, Mitt Romney and Tim Ryan gave their first interview together. Was Ryan the support animal for Romney? But yeah, no, it's really been amazing to watch. And Donald Trump's act, it's just old. It's just old. Like, people are tired of this shit. And now you got Trump posting stuff like this. He posted this today. Let's see. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, how in any way is this helping you? What is this doing for you? I don't know if y'all can see it, but this is a picture of Hillary Clinton. There's a picture of Hillary Clinton. Oh yeah, I gotta. My boy Kyle just sent me some. We gonna play. We gonna play this. A Trump commercial. Trumpy Trout. Hold on. There we go. Boom. Got it. I'm gonna bring this up. But yeah, it's Hillary and Kamala that says, funny how blowjobs impacted their careers differently. And Trump retweeted this or retruthed it. Like, dude, what do you? And when we started this stream, what do we see? Voter registration for Democrats just exploding, just completely exploding. And this is some of why. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, oh, well, if you don't vote for Trump, it's just because you're stupid. Are you sure? Are you sure? Do you really think that? I don't think you really think that. Who the fuck posts shit like this? Who does this? Who's trying to win an election? You want women to vote for you and you're posting shit like this? What is wrong with you? He's an idiot. Donald Trump is one of the dumbest people any of us have ever seen in public life. He's so stupid. He's completely losing his mind. All right, now we got more from here. And this is from today. This is some of the stuff today. Hold up.
Of this indictment, these charges against him.
Overnight, he called it election interference. He called it a direct attack on democracy. But I think more importantly for our conversation, Katie, just in the last 2 hours, he has posted a flurry of vengeful memes on his Truth Social account. Memes that I think we have a couple of them that we can pull up here, I think that are very quite explicit. You have one, AI images of his perceived enemies. You see Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Fauci, Bill Gates in orange jumpsuits with the text, how to actually fix the system. You have another one where you see Jack Smith. You see, I think actually, I'm going to call up the one that we are looking at right now. You see the words indict, sedition, and lock them up from the January 6th Select Committee.
He's completely losing his mind. Lock up everybody, everybody who's against me, throw them in prison. Again, I don't like, how can you look at this and think that How can you agree with this shit? How can you watch him do this and think he's doing a good job? How?
And then we've got another one. You see there Jack Smith with the text, quote, he should be prosecuted for election interference and prosecutorial misconduct. A fourth one that I want people to see. You have President Obama with the text that calls for, quote, public military tribunals of Obama and others. There's a flurry of others. There's others that are QAnon themed. This is Donald Trump just in the last 2 hours.
He's completely losing his mind.
We'd have to do digging. It doesn't seem like these are posted by real people. Just the handles with the emoji.
Yeah, they didn't put the blowjob thing up there again. Like, dude, you are running for president. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? We're gonna check out this Trumpy Trout commercial real quick. You know, don't run things to start running hot. Yeah, good point, Fritz. He didn't have a mind to lose in the first place. So, you know, whatever mind is left, he's just operating. His mind, you know, is an Atari ping pong set. Just bloop, 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 bloop. That's all that is going on in his mind. And we ain't done. We are not finished with this man. He is, I mean, everything he's doing and saying is completely ridiculous. Yeah, it absolutely is going to tank all the way down to the bottom. Donald Trump is like 70% of the content on there.
A message from the 45th President of the United Ponds of America.
Let's make fishing great again.
Hold up. This thing it's starting to trip. Oh, it's tripping now. Come on. Come on. Stop tripping. Come on. It's just blue. I don't know if y'all can see it, but on my end, it's just blue. Come on. Oh, God. Hold up. Let's see if it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, come on. Would you? Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I gotta do I gotta do a couple of things. Sona, you said update your video drivers. I bet that is what's messing up the video. Yeah, I updated some something like that. What I'm definitely gonna do over the weekend is get to the bottom of whatever this is. I'll figure it out. Thank you for helping me with the suggestion. Now let's see if we can do it this time. Come on. Come on. You can do it. 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 You said RAM expansion slots? Okay, cool. Matter of fact, yeah. Because again, like I said, over the weekend, I'll figure this out because I'm not gonna stream over the weekend. So I will look into that. All right, let's get into the Trumpy Trout.
A message from the 45th President of the United Ponds of America.
Okay, we gotta watch it another day. But at least we got through pretty much all the videos. We got through pretty much all the videos for the day. But yeah, hold on. Let me write this down because I already wrote down a few things. We got the laptop expansion. You said RAM expansion. Boom. Let me write that down. Thank you, Civitas Vox. Laptop RAM expansion. Boom. Got that. Laptop RAM expansion. We got, and then what else we got? We got video drivers. Update video drivers. Okay. I got them things written down. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Yes, exactly. A slow-mo nightmare from hell. I'm going to be on, I'll be on Indisputable on Friday. I will be on Indisputable. But yeah, now I'll check out, I'll look into the RAM expansion because I definitely need it, especially as we start to do more stuff. I'm gonna be hooking up like multiple screens and stuff like that. But we got some other articles to look at. So at least we got through pretty much all the videos. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got Trump raging out because he's losing. We got Trump raging out. And this is just an example of how unbelievable, like, he's so simple-minded. He is so simple-minded. Yes, exactly, Libby. Thank goodness for tech smart people, because I don't be knowing what the hell is going on. Like, can someone else just handle this for me, please? He blows away his digital. I think Kamala spent like 6 times more money on her digital ad spending than Trump, and it's all fake. It's all misinformation. Again, clearly people don't care about this. He cares about it. Like, his mind is so simple. Like, nobody can do more than me. Nobody can be better. Nobody can be bigger. Nobody can spend more money. I'm the best. I'm the biggest. Oh, I posted a video to my Instagram. We can't look at it because it's all slow right now. But Donald Trump, when he was running in 2016, how, nobody can do anything like him. Nobody knows anything like he knows. Nobody. It's just, oh my god. It's he's just being exposed for who he's always been. Honestly. Former President Donald Trump raged on Truth Social after news that Vice President Kamala Harris has spent nearly 6 times what Trump has spent on digital ads year to date, claiming it's all fake. The Harris for President campaign recently announced it took in $540 million in the month after Joe Biden dropped out a record haul. Again, we also Democratic vote. He's going to lose. He's going to fucking lose. Like, that's what's going to happen. Whether, again, the money, the polling, the amount of volunteers, the amount of offices that are open, just literally everything, and voter registration. All of the data points to what's coming. And he can't. Every day, Donald Trump makes it worse for himself. And he's not going to change. He can't. He won't. It's not happening. He's incapable of it. And this week, FWIW publisher Kyle Tharp highlighted the fact that year to date, the Biden and Harris campaigns have outspent Trump on digital $142.7 million to $25.7 million on Facebook, Instagram, and Google and YouTube ads. The site also found Harris with an advantage on TikTok. Top post Kamala Harris, according to social analytics platform Zelf. There were 32,900 posts mentioning Harris last week, receiving a collective. Okay, lots of views, lots of stuff. Again, like, this is just regular campaigning. This is just campaigning. But here we go. All caps. All caps.
It's always fake. It's always fake with Kamala. We're dominating her on social media, so she makes up a fake list of her numbers versus my numbers. All of our engagement is real and organic, while Kamala has to pay for her fake engagement.
Huh? He can't accept it. And honestly, I know y'all saw the other day he agreed to do the debate. Don't be surprised if he doesn't do it. Don't be surprised if Donald Trump does not end up debating. Honestly, that may be better for him to not debate, because he's not going to do well. It's not going to be a wash. It's not going to be even. He's going to do horribly.
We're beating her like a drum.
He put that in quotations for whatever reason.
Like we will beat her on November 5th. It's all fake. It's all misinformation and disinformation. We are destroying the Democrats on social media.
Again, like, crowd sizes. That he's so simple-minded. He's such a simpleton. Everything is about adoration and crowd sizes, and my truck's bigger than your truck. My button's bigger than your button. He's such a stupid little boy, is what he is. Like, what is this?
It's all fake. Kamala's not spending 6 times more than I am on digital ads.
Like, why are you even thinking about this? And then hold on, we got this, Trump pissing off military people more. He just can't stop. He just can't stop. You said, why won't the Republicans just get rid of Trump? Good question. They really can't. I don't really think they can. Because the Republican Party spent decades getting themselves in this position, and millions of people love Donald Trump. So they're not going to be able to just snap their fingers and get rid of him. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I think pretty much everybody expects him to lose this election at this point, but um, it takes anybody, and especially an organization filled with millions of people. It takes change takes time. So no, I don't, I don't really think they can. It's going to take a while for them to reinvent themselves. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know, but they're locked in at this point. Or let's see how he pissed off people in the military. He can't stop doing that. No matter what, he just, another day, another opportunity for Donald Trump to make things worse for himself because he's an idiot. But yeah, the Republican Party has a culture problem. Like they can't. Like it's not going to happen. Um, so we'll see how that goes down because at the end of the day, I mean, there are many, 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 many reasonable people in the country. I think most people are pretty reasonable. I think most people are. And for the most part, people are pretty much on the same page with policy positions. Not exactly, but people generally want the same things. Um, people want to be able to afford healthcare. People want to be able to, send their children through college. People want generally the same things. So if the Republican Party can rebrand itself and focus on the issues, because right now the party's all about one man. It's all about Donald Trump. And 91G, you're right. They definitely the Republican insiders definitely want to move on from him, but he has too much of a hold on the base. So what the Republican Party needs to do is make their party about policies again, which it'll take a little bit, but it's not impossible. It'll take a little bit for them to do that. They can do that. They'll be back in the game. But right now, whether it was Donald Trump or somebody else, you can't have a whole organization be about one person. You can't. Like it's not going to work, especially long term. You can't do it. So that's what they need to do. They need to focus on policy. Donald Trump has been accused of using the hallowed grounds of Arlington National Cemetery as a political photo op. The ex-president has faced backlash for smiling and giving a thumbs up for photos at the gravesite of fallen soldiers who were killed in the 2021 withdrawal of U.S. troops in Afghanistan. Adding to the scrutiny of the quote disgraceful visit, one of Trump's aides. Oh my God! And another thing, Donald Trump. The people on his campaign are so like what Stephen Chung. He is possibly the worst campaign manager I have ever seen. He curses people out openly. Like, dude, what are you doing? Stephen Chung will openly call people, he'll be like, oh, what was it? Somebody asked a question about why Trump sounded muffled or sounded like he was lisping in the Twitter interview. And Stephen Chung replied to him, must be your shitty ears. Get your hearing checked out. Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? How is this inviting anybody? This turns away Republicans. Don't nobody want to see this. It's really amazing to see. Hold on, I'm getting to Chung's comments. Former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger, who served as lieutenant colonel in the Air National Guard, remarked on Trump's pose and pointed out the irony of his presence at the ceremony. Kissinger wrote, smiling thumbs up at the grave is unusual to say the least. Never mind that Trump negotiated the deal and is the reason we left. Okay, here we go. See, again, here we go to Stephen Chung. He is the worst campaign spokesperson in history. What is this? Chung said in a statement, the fact is that a private photographer was permitted on the premises, and for whatever reason, an unnamed individual, clearly suffering from a mental health episode, decided to physically block members of President Trump's team during a very solemn ceremony. Like, why do you have to say things like this? Again, it is, you're not inviting at all. Nothing about this is inviting. Even if this was outside of politics, let's say that you're a spokesperson for a company, and anytime somebody has a problem with something that you did, or even if they don't have a problem, let's say they just question it, you're like, well, you must be stupid if you see it like that. Like, what the fuck is that? What is that? What is that? Again, I don't know if y'all familiar with Stephen Chung, but this is what he does. He does it constantly. Clearly, this person was suffering from a mental health episode. Like, bruh, don't say shit like that. You know, because a lot of people suffer from mental health issues of all kinds. Like, it's just nothing. And you can't make excuses for this type of shit. It's juvenile. No one else does this. No one else does this. This is completely juvenile. Trump got indicted again. You know, and again, it's like you got all this controversy swirling around you, and you got your spokesperson out here telling people it must be your shitty hearing. Are you 12 years old? Are you 14? It's really amazing. Okay, now we gonna end this off. We had a few more videos, but again, over the weekend, what I'm gonna do is I gotta what you know, all the stuff you issued. I need to get more RAM, a RAM expansion, update the video drivers, and just clean some stuff out. Because this wasn't an issue up until like 3 streams ago. To where like after about an hour or so, or close to an hour, like the videos just start like getting really, really slow and grainy. So I'll get to the bottom of that this weekend. But now we're gonna close out the stream with a non-political related story. You know, when you see like dating stories online, sometimes, you know, a lot of the time you can tell people are just trolling. People are just, you know, they're doing a skit. And it's so funny, like when the whole internet will be arguing about something. And it's like, guys, this is clearly not real. Like this is fake. But you know, we live in the digital time. Everybody experiences everything. Everybody experiences everything through their cell phones. This headline took me out though. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is real. Not that people wouldn't do this, but this is funny. Hold on, let it load up. Spybot search and destroy immunized browser. Okay, cool. Thank you. We got Spybot. Spybot search and destroy. Search and destroy. And again, what I'd like to do, I've been, you know, busy with this, but next week I'm gonna start off the rest of my programming that's not related to politics, so that, you know, a little bit of everybody can join in, because you know, I consider myself to be a reasonable person, but at the end of the day, if you don't have, you know, kind of more center left or left leaning political views, I'm probably not really the source that you want to watch. So we're going to get more into our mental health content, the nerd stuff, so we can start talking about Batman and Superman and stuff like that. I'd like to get more into the non-political related stuff, because there's more to life than politics, and you know, those things typically can unite us. Now, again, I don't know if this shit is real. Husband asks for a divorce after a woman hits on him for the first time in his life. I can't let this opportunity pass. Is this real? Is this real, man? Like, come on, like, it's gotta be. It's more going on today. Y'all probably are ready to split up. Like, oh, this is the first time a woman's ever hit on me. Then how did you get married if that happened? Okay, let's see. Having low self-esteem can be a strange thing. You'd assume a low self-image would make you more kind and empathetic, but all too often the opposite happens. It inspires people to lash out or do things to others that are unkind or even outright cruel. Such was the case for a woman on Reddit whose husband had never felt very good about himself. Again, I don't be believing this shit, man. Because people could just completely fabricate a story. The woman's husband wants a divorce because he finally got hit on for the first time in his life. It's not like she was making fun of him or something. Quote, my husband just told me he is leaving me, and I can't believe the reason. Divorce is often a blindsiding experience, but this one is on a whole new level. The woman wrote that she and her husband had been together for a bit over 4 years, including a lengthy courtship period, because she wasn't sure he was the right guy for her. That process has now seemingly come back to bite. and it's being held over her head in a truly cruel way. Her husband has always thought he was ugly, and he's always been shy after lots of rejection from women. Look, listen, at the end of the day, even if you are, the most handsome person in the world with everything going for yourself, um, you're mostly you're going to get rejected a lot, especially as a man. It's just part of the game. I mean, men and women get rejected, but men get rejected way more than women do because men are horny dogs, may much more than women are. Women are much more used to getting hit on and approached. But yeah, it doesn't matter how handsome or wealthy or anything like that you are. Um, there's always going to be people who aren't interested for a plethora of reasons, whether they're not attracted to you, whether they're not in a good place in their lives, whether they just ain't feeling it that day. It really doesn't matter who you are. You're never gonna, it's never going to be the case that everybody wants to date you and sleep with you. It's just not. He's always been very insecure about himself, she wrote, even though he has a great personality, or so I thought, is generous, caring, and can express his emotions. After getting together, he was so lovely she couldn't believe he was single. He told me that's because he's shy and ugly and women don't really want anything from him. I'm having a hard time believing that this story is real because it's like why how would things have gotten as far as they did if he's just, oh, I'm too shy and ugly and women don't really want anything from me? How did y'all make it as far as you did? If you really because if you really feel that way about yourself, not only is that gonna impede you from having a success in anything, whether it be dating or just regular platonic friendships or even hobbies and passions that you have, other people aren't going to be attracted to you because it's like, well, if you don't think highly of yourself, I don't either. So again, I'm having a hard time believing that this story is real. She was wary that this low self-esteem was a cover for a dark secret or some other flaw. So she took her time getting to know him. But once she got to know him, things went fast because it all was so wonderful. Now he often tells her how lucky he feels to finally have found his dream woman. After a drop dead gorgeous, oh yeah, he's a simp. He is a tried and true simp. After a drop dead gorgeous woman in a restaurant started pursuing him, he decided he can't let this opportunity pass and asked for a divorce. If it's gonna be like that, why don't you just cheat? Shit. If it's really good, if it's really that serious, why don't you just have an affair? Like what? I'm gonna get a divorce because maybe this woman. Oh, you're just going about this all wrong, man. What are you thinking? There's so many other things you could have done. But again, I'm having a hard time believing that this is real. Like, who would actually do this? People are so much more likely to cheat than just, oh, I'm going to get divorced because someone flirted with me. They met casually at a restaurant and struck up a conversation, but that quickly moved to texting, even though the woman knew he was married. At first, he thought it was just friendly, but it soon became clear that it was more. Yeah, my man's does not understand dating at all because people can lose interest at the drop of a dime. People do lose interest at the drop of a dime. You might not want to do this. Quote, he said that he was hesitant once he realized that she was hitting on him, the wife wrote. And he was also excited because this literally has never happened in his life. They've only exchanged messages, but he has decided he needs to move forward for more. Oh, it is not going to go how you think it is. She going to be like, "You divorced your wife just cuz I'm flirting with you?" Nah. I don't think I really want anything to do with you. This is the first woman who is genuinely interested in me. What are you talking about? You're married. How is this the first woman genuinely interested in you when you're married? He told her and then added something pointed and cruel. Quote, I didn't have to text her for 3 months to get a date or anything. I can't let this pass. Oh, he's a fool. You are a fool, my man. You are a fool. Now he's asked for a divorce. And oh, this is the dumbest man in the world. I don't believe this shit, man. And okay, I don't really, yeah, my man's is, my man's is in for a massively rude awakening. And again, like I said, people, oh my God, yeah, that's a bit of a strange approach. My man said, "I've never been flirted with like this before, so let's get a divorce." Yeah, I don't think it's real. It's too ridiculous. It's way too ridiculous. Again, how is this the first woman who's ever been interested in you when you were married? Like, I don't get it, man. You can't be that damn ugly. Ain't nobody that damn ugly. Goodness gracious. And, at the end of the day, honestly, ugly is a strong word. It really is. Like, most people are pretty decent looking. Like that, like, especially if they have, good personalities and strong character traits. Like, like, again, ugly, that is a strong word. And even if you are, it's somebody out here who don't think you ugly. And for a lot of people, looks, obviously people need to be somewhat attracted to you. I don't think it's realistic that people date people who they aren't attracted to at all. But, for a lot of people, looks just really aren't that important. So yeah, I don't really necessarily believe this story. I think that was definitely some cap. But thank y'all for joining me. The stream was shorter today. We had to rush through the videos, but I am going to look into a laptop RAM expansion, update my video drivers, and look at just cleaning the system out a bit more. Thank y'all. Tomorrow, I think at 8 o'clock or something like that. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are doing an interview on CNN. I'll probably be streaming tomorrow, and I'm trying to get this laptop together because I want y'all to have a good show with me. But again, thank y'all for everything. Trent, if you're still in here, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. But yeah, y'all have a fantastic evening. I love and appreciate all of you. I'm about to go get some food in my belly. Have a good night.